Why are some CAPSIM teams effective and have good results, and why do others, despite the talent on the team, struggle? Let me take a shot at explaining the characteristics of what I would consider to be an effective CAPSIM work team. First of all, it's really important that everybody on the team gets off to a fast start. So everybody on the team needs to do the week one assignments well so that they get familiar with the simulation right from the start and get off to a fast start. And more importantly, don't fall behind and are catching up in weeks 2, 3, 4. I think you have to meet virtually. I mean, find a Google Hangout or some other virtual meeting tool that will work for your team members, because it's really important that you, in a live setting, can discuss your decisions, have a back and forth about, should we do it this way or should we do it that way? And, have a culture that says when you come to the meeting, you're prepared. If you're responsible for, doing a forecast, when we come to the meeting, it's done. Have a schedule. I think one way to help ensure people are prepared is if they know ahead of time when you're going to meet so that they can plan accordingly. Once we're through week one, weeks 2, 3, 4, and 5 follow a very similar schedule. So, set up now what your schedule for your virtual hangout calls are going to be, and then prior to that Saturday deadline and Tuesday deadlines for decisions, make those decisions, and you can have a reasonable expectation that people should be prepared when you meet. I talked about this on an earlier slide, but the whole idea of identifying a strategy and then really making all your decisions consistent with that strategy. It really makes the decision process a lot easier because it eliminates a lot of options from your choices if the strategy says, you do XYZ and you ignore ABC. Focus on the buying criteria. Each segment is different. Each market segment has a unique set of buying criteria. And really, you ought to only worry about those top 1 or 2 criteria. So if price is, the fourth highest buying criteria, don't worry about what price you set on it, or certainly don't cut your price, because that's not going to increase your sales. People don't care about price for that particular market segment. Use the tools that you develop in that situational analysis. You do the situational analysis in week 1. That's why I say it's important to get a good start in week 1. If you've done that, you're familiar with what I'm talking about. You calculated the ideal spots by round. You did an industry demand calculation. You did a capacity analysis. Develop worksheets, Excel worksheets, out of some, if not all of those, so that you can be very thoughtful and very understanding about what is going to happen next year as you're making your decisions around forecasting. And develop thoughtful forecasts. Again, it helps to have the tools I just referred to. Look at what you sold last year. Why am I going to sell more? Where is the competition focusing? What products are they focusing on? What have they done historically? Are they going to probably cut price? Are they probably going to, increase or improve their product characteristics? Do a worst case scenario. Clearly, the focus is going to be on what do we think we're going to do. But once you've done that, save those numbers, and then just do a worst case scenario with maybe nothing more than you sold last year, or leave all your parameters the same, and just see what happens. And that can be, and then make sure you've got sufficient cash to cover that worst case scenario, but then set your production schedule based on what you expect to happen. Organize your team effort. Give people responsibility. Divide and conquer. And yet, when you come together, when each person presents their piece, make sure you understand, what they're saying, what they've done. Remember, week 6, you're going to do the simulation all by yourself. So you need to understand all parts, of the process. And do a debrief after each of your rounds. Look at the results and say, what were the actual results versus our forecast? Why is there a difference? What are we doing wrong here? Or, and then what can we do differently going forward? And then lastly, any team, be it a CAPSIM team, be it any team, needs to have a healthy team dynamic. Team members need to be committed to this, come prepared, and then listen. Obviously you want to present your opinion, but be willing to listen and listen closely to what your colleagues are saying before you make a strong statement about an alternative view. I think if you follow those suggestions, it will produce good results. Thanks.